Kol Hashonei Halachot, the two mitzvot of the day today is the 19th of the month of Elul, and the two mitzvot are mitzvah number 340. It's on Yovel year, all lands must return to the original owners. And mitzvah number 358, we're not allowed to sell lands or property placed in cherem by the owner. Today's mitzvot are sponsored for Nishmat Simcha Kohen ben Yael, and also Yecheskel Natanel ben Harav Avishai Levi, and Refuah Shlema Chaya Bat Leah. And Bezrat Hashem, let's kick off today's class. Let's see. We have like this. Mitzvah number Shin Mem 340. Mitzvah Hashavat HaKarka LeBa'alein BeYovel. We are obligated to return the lands of the owners on the Yovel year. Le'ashiv Kol HaKarkaot Ben Beit Bait or Sadeh. It doesn't matter. You must return all the fields. It doesn't matter if it's a field or it's a house. V'kerem u'pardes, if it's a vineyard or if it's a just a garden. B'shnat HaYovel, you're obligated to return all of those things. LeBa'alein b'lo kesef u'b'lo mechir. You must return it to the original owner without any money or without any sales. Shneimar, as it says in the Pasuk, Vayikra, 25th chapter, 24th Pasuk, U'bechol eretz achuzatchem geula titnu la'aretz. And in all your lands, which are the inheritance, you must have a redemption given to the land. Lomar, to meaning the following. Bechol eretz Israel she'iyah achuzatchem, all the land, wherever you have inheritance in the land, geula titnu la'aretz, it has to be redeemed. V'inyan ha'geula, what does that mean, geula, the redemption? V'er ha'katuv she'iyah chazarat ha'karka leBa'alehen. It means the land has to be returned to its original owners. K'mo she'katuv, b'mishnat ha'yovel hazot teshuvu ish hazoto. It says over there, it's also Pasuk Yud Gimel, that the Mishnat HaYovel, in the year of the Yovel, you must return all the land to its rightful inheritors. I said that, okay, it was already explained earlier. The Rabbi says, mitzvah, what are the rules in reference to that mitzvah? Is it written down? It's actually outlined in the psukim itself. So let's say if the seller sold his land right before Shnat HaYovel, and he wants to get it back before Shnat HaYovel, there is a way for him to get it back also, and how it is sold also, it's all determined. Kodem Shnat HaYovel, okay, v'chiluk shebiyer hakatuv shehu ben mocher ben be'erach or be'ir choma. So the question is lemocher oto be'arei haprazot. So there's a difference of if you're selling land in the city, which is within the walls of the city that surrounds the city, and then there is difference of lands that are sold outside of the walls. That anything that's outside in the open, so anything that is a field that are open, exposed to the outside world, those have a different dinim, obviously, than the ones that are sold in the city. Our sages told us in Arachin, the Gemara Arachin, Lamed Aleph, 31st page, Amud Aleph. B'mitzvah zu, whatever is related to this mitzvah, she'im achar beit b'betei arei choma, le'echad u'machra alokech rishon l'sheni betoch hashana. So what happened was that somebody sold a house inside the cities. Usually their homes, they don't have fields. So in this case, the man sold his house to another person, and that person within a year sold the house to another person. So that's a third party already. Monin l'rishon l'kavin sheshlama shana l'shana uchlat abayit l'sheni. So monin l'rishon l'kivan sheshlama shana l'rishon uchlat abayit l'sheni. So what happens is, within 12 months, the original buyer still could buy the property back, right? So basically, technically speaking, the seller, the second whoever bought the property, cannot sell it within a year. ומכוון שעבד הזולתו שנה ראויה הוא שיוחליט גם ביד השני, ועוד שהראשון מכר לשני כל זכות שלו, ואילו עמדה השנה שלמה ביד הראשון כבר הייתה מוחלטת בידו. So the condition is over here that it has to be within after a year. The buyer only could sell it after a year. There is a rule in the Torah, within 12 months, you are allowed to get the property back. Over there, our sages said the following. גם כן, שמגיע יום 12 חודש, ולא נמצא הלוקח לפדות ממנו, הרי זה מניח מאותה בבית דין, ושובר את הדלת ונכנס לביתו, ומתי שיבוא הלוקח יבוא וייטול מאותיו. What happened was, I sold the house, right? I sold the house, the Torah tells me, within 12 months, I'm allowed to buy it. I'm allowed to buy it back, right? The question is, for what price? The choire for the same price you sold it. Within 12 months, we're not choishish, we're not living in Hollywood, Florida, where within 1 month, everything, within a couple of months, everything goes double away and triple already, the prices, right? So let's say, it's not, even if it say it does, it's still, I sold the house for $300,000 in Eretz Yisrael, I'm allowed to buy it back for $300,000, even though the whole market went up within 12 months. To how much? To $1 million. It doesn't matter. Because I have the permission to get it back for the same money that I sold it. It's fair or not fair, that's not my business right now. Usually the markets are stable, not like in Florida today. However, there is a different condition in the house, in the cities, in the walled cities. You have houses, properties, somebody sells. Not just you lose it after 12 months, you have no right to buy it again. I mean, you could buy it if you want to, but the guy who bought it from your hand, after 12 months, it's in his property now. It's in his inheritance. And if he sells it to you, he could also buy it from you 12 months, within 12 months. So it's like a yo-yo, playing games. However, the rules are, it's not of Yovel, those properties inside the walled cities don't go back to the original owners. Okay? Don't ever go back, because whatever is sold after the only time they have this opportunity to take it back is within 12 months. Okay, we said that already? Next. I'm sorry. Also, they said our sage over there in the page Lamed Gimel in the Gemara, Arachin, Amud Aleph. שהמוכר בית בערי החצרים, שאם רצה לגאול מיד גואל, כדין בבתי ערי חומה. So it said like this, בערי חצרים. So let's say if you have cities that are exposed, cities that don't have walls, they're just courtyards, right? You have such a thing. Okay, so what does he do? שאם רצה לגאול מיד גואל. He's allowed to redeem it back immediately. כדין בית ערי חומה, just like in, what's his name? In the walled cities. ואם לא רצה לגאול מיד, גואל אותה אפילו אחר שנה כדין שדות. Okay? So over there, it's already different. If it's open field cities, he is allowed to even redeem it after the first year. Okay? The same thing as buying a field. Remember, over there you have inheritance. The only difference is in a walled city, there's limitations. But outside of the walled cities, the original owners will always have the claim to the property. The koach yafeh shebesadot, shebebetei harei choma yesh lahem. Okay, the people who own properties in the open, in a not walled city, regular city, right? Like New York, like Florida, Hollywood, right? There's no walls over here. That is like a walled city. So you basically, let's say if you have such a thing in Eretz Yisrael, you would have a right to buy it anytime you want for the difference in the price. Okay. Our sages also added to this, שכל שהוא לפנים מן החומה, כגון גנות, מרחצאות ושובבות, דינם כבתים. So now let's say inside the walled cities, you own businesses. You own bathhouses, you own gardens, right? What do they call that? The botanical garden, people come to pay you, or you own zoo land, right? In the walled city. So those possessions have the same din, same judgment, will be as a regular house. Okay? Okay, so he says, okay. Now, what about properties that are small, like sheds? Right? Let's say you have a house that does not have more than 8 feet by 8 feet, whatever that means. There is no inheritance in such a possession. בירושלים אין הבית נכרת בה, ועיר שכוחותיה חומות אין דינה כמוקפת חומה. ועיר שגגותיה חומות אין דינה אלא בעניין שתהיה לה חומה בלבד גגותיה. אוקיי? ובעניין גם כן שהוקפה חומה לתחילה ואחר כך נתיישבה. אבל נתיישבה ואחר כך הוקפה, אין זו עיר חומה. So now he goes into different types of walled cities discussion. ואין צמחין אלא על החומה המוקפת בשעה שכבש יהושע את הארץ. So now, there's another detail that Rabbi adds over here. What does that mean, the cities, walled cities? Only at the time where the whole calculation is based on when Yehoshua, when he conquered the land. That's what considered to be walled cities. Now, however, when the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, not only Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, all those walled cities were destroyed also. There was no walls, right? Because the Romans or whoever were Nebuchadnezzar, they destroyed all walled cities. When we came back to Eretz Yisrael the second time, נתקשקו כל הערים המוקפות חומה באותו העת, מפני שבעיתן בימי עזרא שהיא בעיה שנייה כביאתן בימי יהושע. So what happened was, now, when the second time the Jews came back, they have also built walled cities. So they say that over there also they started to have the Kedusha, and now that means even the cities that were not built walls at the time of Yehoshua, meaning with the second Beit HaMikdash, they were rebuilding more. Right? As we know, more people build more. Ma biatan b'mei Yehoshua manu mishitin mishaviyomlot because v'shua re'eh choma v'nitchayevu v'maaser b'mei Ezra ken. So too over there on the second time in the Beit HaMikdash, now it's a big machloket. It didn't all return back to the original. It did not. But however, the cities for sure returned because now there was walled cities, and I guess we have to do business, selling houses and buying houses. That was a common practice. Okay. Okay, all other related rules to this mitzvah are in Masechta Arachim. Benoeged b'zacharim v'nekevot ba'eretz Yisrael u'bezman she'hayovel noeg. The mitzvah is specifically, it doesn't matter boys or girls, male or female, but it has to be at the time of Yovel, when there is a 50th year in Eretz Yisrael. And we already explained that Yovel is only counts. The Yovel could only be active when all the Jews are back in Eretz Yisrael. Cannot be partially yes, partially no. All Jews must return to Eretz Yisrael, and only then will there be such a concept of Yovel year. Now, in the olden days, when a Jew would not return, let's say he would hold back, he didn't want to return the land that he bought from the original inheritance of the land, where he is obligated on the Yovel to return it. The sin is great, the Rabbi says here, and his punishment is grave. It's as if he is saying to Hashem, I don't believe in your Torah. Because as we know, Rashi in the first pasuk on Bereshit, he asked the question, why do you start Bereshit? Bara Elokim et hashamayim et haaretz, to teach you that the Jewish nation have a full right to Eretz Yisrael, because Hashem is the one who created the world, and since He is the creator, He decides who gets the land. And this person who bought the land when he bought it, remember there's the whole purchase is about the years remaining to the Yovel. He's not buying the land forever, there's no such thing. So this guy is refusing to return the land to the original inheritors. It's like he's saying to Hashem, I don't believe in your Torah, Chas v'shalom. Okay, mitzvah number 358, Ta'ashin nun chet, shelo yimkor karka she'acherim ota ba'alav, ela tinaten lakohen. You're not allowed to sell a land that was a person who made it cherem, meaning he wants to donate it. Okay, meaning he's not allowed to use it for himself. He makes it like kodesh. Basically, like you sanctify an animal, this guy sanctified his land. Shelo yimkor adam sadeh acherem. A person is not allowed to sell a field that was designated as cherem. וכן כל שאר קרקעות והוא הדין מתלתלן שהחרימו אותו בעליהם. Okay, so anything, not just land, any field, any property that was designated as cherem by the owner, even tangible, movable items, also cannot be sold. אלא יינתנו לכהנים, they must be given to כהנים, שבאותו משמר, there are, in that time, there's 24 different watches. Every week there were different Kohen. So throughout the year, sometimes you have 3 times Kohanim, but most Kohanim are working in the Beit HaMikdash twice a year, 2 weeks a year. Okay, so we explained it earlier. ואפילו לגזבר ההקדש אסור לבעלים למוכרו, אלא זוכה בו בלא כלום, כי השם יזיכה החרמים לכהנים. So anytime somebody says my property is cherem, that language, he is making it kadosh. He's not allowed to sell it to kohanim. He is only must give it to kohanim. And a person also, there's a prohibition that he's not allowed to sell his own property. Let's say he says, I give my land to the kohanim and it's worth $10 million, right? So he is not allowed to sell it to bring $10 million. He says, let me sell it to kohanim. I'm going to sell it for the kohanim. I know kohanim are busy in the Beit HaMikdash. Let me sell it and take the money to the Beit HaMikdash to the kohanim. No. Chas v'shalom, he's not allowed to do that. He has to present the title to the kohanim and they let them do whatever they want. Maybe they don't want to sell. And this is all about if somebody just made a cherem on his property. This is talking about when he did not specify what is this cherem for. Because anything cherem that he made that is without any specific direction, then it goes straight to kohanim. כלומר, מי שהחרמים ולא פירש למי שאילו מחרים, בפירוש לבדק הבית או יזכו בהם הכהנים. לא יזכו, okay. But however, if he says, I am designating this house for bedek habayit. You know the difference between bedek habayit? The expenses of the Beit HaMikdash, right? So there, the kohanim don't get it. It has to go to the bedek habayit, who runs the general kuppah. And over there, they sell and they do whatever they do, and all the money goes to bedek habayit. But if somebody says, I'm designating my house to Kadosh, to make it to Hashem, cherem, it goes automatically to kohanim, and they do whatever they want with it. Okay? As we learned over there, for this whole concept of designating your properties to cherem, and it goes to kohanim, as it says over there in the Vayikra 27, chapter 28, pasuk, Kol cherem, it says that all the charamim. Lo yimkor aval hakohanim v'adai mochrim otam b'kertzonam. However, a kohen got an inheritance, $10 million house. What does he do with it? He has Baruch Hashem a house already, so he's allowed to sell it without any problem. Okay, שחרמי הכהנים אחר שיצאו מיד הבעלים שהחרימם והגיעו ליד הכהנים הרי הן כחולין לכל דבריהם. Like this, what happened was, there's a big question here. The question is, when you say this house is cherem, you're actually making it holy. What do we say if this animal is holy and then you use the animal? Chas v'shalom. The person gets punished. So this restriction is only until the hand of a kohen gets the possession of this property. There will be the same thing. Meaning, let's say somebody says, my house is cherem. He's not allowed to walk in there anymore. Let me take out the furniture. No such a thing. He is not allowed to touch the door of the house anymore. Maybe touching, okay, but he cannot open the door. It's all not allowed. He is not allowed to hide there from rain. And his mamash belongs to kohanim. However, the rabbi says that what happens? So how can the kohanim sell it to a regular Jew? No problem. As soon as the kohen gets it to his hands, magic. No more kedusha.
Or the person comes back now?
What?
The person come back, or is it
He
gone?
could buy it from the kohen. Yes, he's allowed to buy it from the kohanim.
Buy it back.
Yeah, the kohanim decide what to do with him. Anyway. Okay, as it says over there, okay, שחרמי הכהנים אחר שיצאו מיד הבעלים, שהחרימו, okay, so we said that already, שנאמר, it says over there במדבר, 18 chapter, 14 pasuk, כל החרם בישראל לך יהיה. Hashem promises to kohanim that any Jew, when he makes this cherem on his property, anything, a match or a house or a jet plane, millions, whatever it is, anything that you gave cherem must go to kohanim. אבל בעוד שהם תחת יד הבעלים, נאמר עליהם כל חרם קודש קודשים להביא להשם. However, as we said, if anything that is still in the hands of the possession of the original owner, it's like holy. He's not allowed to touch it. He's not allowed to look at it. Okay, I'm just exaggerating. Looking, he's allowed to look, but he's not allowed. I'm telling you, that's very serious. A guy might think, oh, Hashem is sending rain, let me go inside. Or I forgot my, what's his name? I forgot something in there. I forgot $10,000 in the closet. It doesn't matter. Whatever is done is done. You're not allowed to go in there. It's like a regular korban. ושורש המצווה וכל ענייניה, כתוב למעלה עשה ואהב everything we already explained earlier. Ayen sham ki-tavoh hu. And you learn over there more details. Obviously, we're here just touching the little bit, scraping a little bit ice from a big chunk of ice. It's like we took it with a spoon. We went to the North Pole and touched a little bit. That's how much this mitzvah is Baruch Hashem taught. And there's a lot more to talk. But Bezrat Hashem, it's Mount Katzar. Everybody has to go to work. Hatzlacha rabba. Anybody wants to sponsor the shiurim, please do so. You could reach out to me. The numbers are provided. Hatzlacha rabba. Mitzvot. Have a wonderful day.